everything that I've been talking about so far has been specifically dealing with going in and out to files. But what if you want to go from program to program? That's called a pipe, right? So we're piping one thing to another. So if I cat ls.txt, right, this takes whatever is in ls.txt and then it puts it onto the next thing, right? But the next thing in this particular case is just displaying it, so that's what it does. But let's say instead of how we did it before, I could say cat ls.txt, and I want to feed this into grep, right? So I can do pipe, which is like that vertical bar above your enter key. And then I do grep ls error.txt. So this is taking the output of cat ls.txt and then it's piping that into grep ls error.txt, right? So this is connecting cat together with grep. And you can, pipe this as many times. I can, I guess they're the same thing, but let's just echo hey into ls.txt like this. And then if I say cat ls.txt, then I have hey down at the end. Now we have the ability to input from one thing to another. So let me show you another little thing. We're going to talk about processes here in a little bit. But if you say psaux, wow, this is running quite a bit. What this does is it outputs all of the currently running processes on your computer, which you can see is quite a lot. So what if I wanted to run this and I only wanted to find the actual process of finding itself, right? So if I say psaux, all grep does is it takes a list of text and finds something in that. So if I say grep for psaux, it's going to find the process of finding itself. So as you can see here, it found this one right here, the process of finding itself. And then it also found the grep, which took the input as psaux. So that's what this is doing, is it's taking psaux, this super long wall of text, and then it's feeding that into grep to find things. So you'll find that grep is frequently one of the things that you're going to be piping into, because you'll get 10,000 lines of text and you want to find like 2 of them, right? Like I find myself frequently grepping for Node.js because I want to kill the process, right? And that's a really good way of doing it. So actually a really good way of demonstrating this is that yes program. So let's say I have yes and I pipe the output to dev null, and then we'll talk about this in a little bit, but if you put this ampersand in the background, it means it's run it in the background, don't run it in the foreground. And so now I have process here 1224. But now I just have that yes running in the background. It's not doing anything other than just running. If I say psaux, this is an overwhelming wall of text. Luckily this is here, but if you're running like a real production server, you can have thousands and tens of thousands of processes. It can be pretty difficult to find things. So if I say psaux and then I grep for yes, I'll find it immediately, and I found the process ID right there. So that's a time that I use the piping a lot, is to try and find rogue processes. And then we can use our kill skills that we found before, kill-9 yes, or not yes, but 1224, which is this number right there. And there you go. Now if I run psaux grep yes, you'll find it didn't find anything, and it also just lets you know, it's like, oh, by the way, I killed this just now. Or let's do something kind of fun here. Let's go into, what was it, folder 3. So in here, I have a lot of files. And let's say I wanted to delete all of them, but I wanted to, you can do rm dash I, which is going to force it to ask you yes or no questions. Yes, I want to remove all of these. And I do file star like this. It's like, do you want to remove file cool.txt? Yes. Do you want to remove file 1? Yes. Do you want to file 10? No. I'm going to control C out of that because I don't want to do that, right? So this is what I was telling you that yes was actually written for. If I do yes, and then I pipe that into rm-i file star, it's going to answer yes to all those questions. So just for fun right now, I'm going to answer no to all the questions, but check this out. It asked me a bunch of times, do you want to remove this file? Do you want to remove this file? And I answered no to every one of them. So they're all still here. But what happens if I say yes with a Y instead? Now if you look in here, it's empty, because it went through and answered yes to all those questions. So that's why yeses exist, is so you can answer yes to all those questions. Make sense? Kind of a fun trick. So yeah, piping and streams and all that kind of stuff, that's like a positively core concept of Bash. And like if you get like a little bit of a grasp on it, it's going to go a long way in helping you be like a more professional developer.
There was a question about somebody did cat file.txt and then greater than echo. And why doesn't that work?
Oh, okay. That's a good question. So let's say I say echo Lowther skates. I don't know why that came to mind, but that's what came to mind. Into file.txt, right? So now if I cat file.txt, I believe the question is if I say cat file text and then I, wait, ask me the question one more time.
Trying to push that into echo.
Like this, right? So this doesn't work because this is actually going to make a file called echo. So when you put these right here, that means you're like it's going into a file, right? Whereas if I think if you just do pipe like this, I think it won't do it. Oh, okay. So echo doesn't read from standard in. So if you wanted it to go to the output, what you would actually pipe it into is cat. So you would have cat piping into cat, which doesn't make a ton of sense, but it does work, right? So echo doesn't read from standard in. It only reads from, I mean, you could do this and say echo hi, and all it's going to do is echo, and it's just going to ignore all this because echo doesn't read from standard in. And whereas that's what cat is specifically for, is from reading from standard in. Does that make sense? It's a little split hairy, but all echo does is it just takes in something and spits it back out to standard out.
Why did two processes show up for yes in the PS AUX?
All right. So I ran this one here, so now this is running in the background. And this is the actual process running right here, right? 1257, which is matched up to this one. I think the question is why is this one here? Because when you grep for something, grep also shows up in the list that it returns back to you. So grep detects itself. So in this particular case, the yes that it's detecting is the search string from grep. Does that make sense? So it's detecting itself is the answer. The search is detecting itself.